Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. Got a card that's in here backwards. Let's turn that around. Okay. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 28th through January 3rd. I hope you're getting through these holidays in a good way and really enjoying them. And I'd like to be the first to wish you a happy new year here coming up in a couple of days. And during this time, we have a first quarter moon that's going to come in on the 28th. And a first quarter moon is a little bit impulsive and impatient. You might feel a little bit active. If you're feeling that, just make sure you're kind of working with that energy and maybe do something that keeps you calm. Find that thing that keeps you calm down so that you're not running into that. After that, we then have the waxing gibbous, which stays with us through the new year and beyond there. So a waxing gibbous is about a deeper understanding and outlook, a good time to act on your intuition, and a good time for planning and preparation. So if you're thinking about those New Year's resolutions, it's a really good time with the moon energy. So think about those things. You know, what things are you going to change for the new year? So a good time to think about those things. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Taurus. So as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, your overall message for this reading: a time to give rather than take. All right, let's see what the Taurus Collective has going on for this week. Once again, I'm going to do quick readings. A quick read again this week. We will get into longer readings here after the first of the year. I know that, well, if these cards even want to shuffle, there we go. I know you're busy. I'm busy. It's just the holiday season. It's just a busy time. So after the first of the year, next week we'll get back into longer, kind of slower readings. I'll take a deep breath and slow down with you, and we'll get into some, deeper explanations. But I just wanted to take the minute while I'm shuffling to say to you, happy New Year. And I hope you do have a really great time this week, whatever you choose to do on New Year's. So all right, let's get right into this reading. Taurus, December 28th through January 3rd, a time to give rather than take. Your present energy is you are thinking about the future here with this Two of Wands. And it's just that kind of year. And also the moon energy is definitely kind of going along with that this year. It is a good time for planning, thinking about changes that you want to make. So you're certainly in that energy with the rest of us. Let's see, your current situation is about strength. So you're feeling like, you're strong enough to get through this next year and make those changes that you want to. I believe so. I mean, this card is saying, you do have, this is about mind and body. And if those are things that you're trying to work on this year, then, think of ways to do that. Maybe if you're trying to make your body stronger, you may start a weightlifting program or use a new exercise program to get stronger. It may be something where it's strength of mind that you want. You might have resolves and things that you want to do and stick to it. So just if those are things that you want to work on, make sure that you're actively working on and planning on how you might make those changes for yourself. At the root of your situation, Taurus, is that you are definitely enjoying the fruits of your labor right now with this Knight of Pentacles. So I love that. I mean, we are still in the holiday season. Some of us have to be back to work or doing things, and it still can be that busy time. Again, that's why I'm kind of rushing through readings this week. It's just still so busy, but we're getting there. And January does kind of slow down. So go ahead and enjoy the fruits of your labor now if you can do that. It's just a good time. Have you been working hard all week or all year? I mean, it's just time to relax, celebrate with friends. You bring in the new year and just enjoy yourself a little bit. That's fine. You can do that. In your recent past here is the Knight of Cups. So you may have some new things coming in on the emotional front. For some of you, this is maybe meeting someone new, dating someone new. For some of you, this might be taking your relationship to the next level. If you're not married, maybe getting married. If you are married, maybe having children. If you've already had children, maybe kind of just renewing things. And if you've been an old married couple like me and my husband for a long time, maybe it's just about kind of renewing and spending a little one-on-one time with each other, which is also very nice to do. So, if you've got a date night happening, some people might be hanging out with friends on the new year. Some people might just keep it quiet and it's just you and your significant other. Whatever you do, it looks like you're just in a good place to make those choices and do really whatever you want for that night. Let's see what's on your mind for this week is the Queen of Pentacles, which, I just had this card come out in the Aries reading as well. Of course, we're all trying to manage like the new material things. Gifts come in. I know if you're like me, it's like one thing comes in, I got to move a couple other things or get rid of things, or you just don't want a lot of clutter. I don't know. I don't. So if you're feeling like that, the Queen is about kind of managing those material solid, tangible things, and also your bank account, just making sure everything has a good flow to it. So that's something that's on your mind this week. What is just ahead of you this week is the Devil card. So there might be some sort of maybe temptation coming up for you. Maybe, and this is again, New Year's Eve is a party night. Maybe you don't want to really be tempted so that you don't feel that great on January 1st, So maybe keep that in mind as you're approaching New Year's. Let's water those drinks down, or make sure you drink some water if you're going to imbibe in alcohol. But, is there something, this could also be kind of false truths or things coming in, not just having to do with any sort of dependency or whatever, or just whatever ways the devil, likes to lure us and get us off track, right? But this could be, some kind of lack of confidence or fear of failure, something like that you have going on, or something this week. So just pay attention to that. Don't let that devil get in your ear for too long, but this is just kind of a heads up for you that might be something that gets in front of you this week. In your advice position is feeling a little bit like you against the world. So, and because this is in your advice position, I was kind of saying hold your ground. So if this is this devil kind of coming at you, even if it's just mentally, hold your ground and make sure that you're fighting and saying, hey, no, no, no. I know what I want and I'm going to go for it. So definitely hold your ground when it comes to anything that you feel like you're up against with the world. What is beyond your control this week is a little bit of anxiety, and maybe it is about this. Maybe I get the feeling for some of you this might be something that's like work related, that you're feeling a little anxious, that that work life can get a little bit busy during the holidays as well. And everything feels just a little off kilter, with this day off and this day off, and people are missing and gone, and it can be a little anxious. So just take a breath and get through it. Again, we're about to level out after, once we get into January and the holidays are behind us, things do kind of level out and get a little bit calmer as well. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Nine of Cups, which is definitely feeling a little bit satisfied and just, kind of feeling like you're just content, that and I hope that's your goal. I hope that is the secret desire, not what you're trying to avoid, but you're trying to get to that contentment. And I will point out too that we have two nines on actually we have three nines on the table. So look up angel number 999 and see if what that says and if it's any help to you this week, because I feel like nines are about almost reaching our goal, almost getting to the end of something. So just make sure you're doing that final push on any of those things, whether it be emotional, whether it be communication, or something with your intellect, something that's on your mind or thinking about, and also with the pentacles there. Three nines are popping up for you. In your outcome position, Taurus, is the Four of Pentacles, which leaves you just feeling very stable by the end of all of it. By the, heading into the new year, just with some stability, just kind of managing. I feel like you're strong enough to manage anything that comes your way. And especially this week where these things seem like blips. It doesn't seem like it's going to not dominate your week. You might have a little stress over something and a little, again, feeling like you against the world, or you might have that devil that you're up against a little bit, who's whispering false things. Just remember that they're false things being whispered into your ear. Let's see what is hidden from you this week. Taurus is choices. So maybe not a whole lot of choices this week. And that's okay. That's fine. I feel like you've got your path ahead of you. You're thinking about the future and you're wondering, are you strong enough? I think you are. I think this card tells you that. So let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Taurus for this New Year's reading. Take the lead. So in whatever's going on here, again, hold your ground there and take the lead on something. It's okay. It's okay to have a different opinion. I don't think that's a problem for you. I think if a Taurus has a different opinion, I don't think they have any trouble telling everyone what that opinion might be. So, but go ahead and take the lead. It's okay. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care this week. And the self-care card that you get is the card called Growth. Evolution starts when you leave your comfort zone. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So if there's something here, like I said, where you're out of your comfort zone, you're strong enough to deal with it. I have no qualms that you may not deal with it, and I do think you're going to end up this week just feeling very stable, and just feeling like you've kind of got things together, even if you had a little bumpy things along the week. So, Taurus, thank you so much for being here once again. We'll get into the longer, more detailed readings next week. I just want to take this time to tell you, have a very happy new year. Please be safe, please be careful, and make sure that you relax a little bit too after, after the New Year's party is over. Make sure you take a little time to just rest and recuperate, and we'll all get through this together. So thanks so much, Taurus. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.